So in this short video, we just want to have a look at the insert, the first thing you'll encounter that's unknown when you start the exam at 9 o'clock. So the question paper shouldn't be in question for you. You should know the 5 questions, the order they come in, how many marks, how long to spend on them, and the right system for answering them to get your grade boundaries. That shouldn't be a question. That's what we spend all year doing in class. The great unknowns, the insert, and the grade boundary. We can't control either one, so don't worry about them. But you will be judged on the quality of your reading. So, quality of your reading will determine the quality of your answers to the reading section, questions 1 to 4. It's really important that you just keep that question paper to one side for the first 15 minutes. Read the insert, make sure you're really, really happy with what's being presented in front of you, because the depth of your understanding of it will determine how well you answer the questions on it. And you've got to make sure that you move through your grade boundaries. So your level 2 is a commenting on the source, and that's mostly telling us what we already know, and that would be some understanding. Level 3, just over half marks, and your pass mark will be clear and relevant, and that's when you explain why. And your level 4, detailed and perceptive, and that is where you are analyzing the text. So you need to move through from comment to explain to analyzing the insert to hit your mark scheme. So in paper 1, there's 3 things that you really need to focus on, which we'll come back to in a second. A full understanding of the story that's been presented to you, a full analysis of the characters in the story, and the writer's methods, the language and structural features, which of course are questions 2 and 3, is making sure you have a really good understanding of those 3 things in your reading. So if we look at one of the last papers, as we go through, you'll get your text box, which will give you a little bit of context to what the story is about. And then as you enter the story, just take your time and make sure you've really understood the story that's been put in front of you today. And on that day, make sure that you've got a good sense of what the story is about, who the story is about, and how the writer has constructed it. Now, don't go looking for language features, of course, in your first or second reading. They'll come. That question will obviously come as question 2. But there's no reason to not look for structural features straight away and identify some of those things. Your annotations are really important to you. They'll save time and they'll allow you to have greater confidence in what you are explaining as you go through. So on that first reading, the first 15 minutes, have a good understanding of the story, a good understanding of who is in the story, and there's no reason to not start looking at structural features as well. Try to make sure that you read thinking about marks. Calm your nerves down, just take your time, read the story, make notes in the margin, you can highlight, you can underline, but have a good sense of what the story is about so that you can analyze it in the questions that we presented in front of you pretty soon, as soon as you start that question paper. As you can see from the 2 examples in front of you there, some good examples of annotations from students that are writing all over the insert, just breaking the text down, highlighting, underlining, making sure that they're really confident in how they understand the text. And once they do that, they'll be more than ready to start opening the question paper and answering the questions on it. So just to reiterate, the most important things are those 3 things: a full understanding of the story, a full understanding of characterization, and a good understanding as you go through to the text, a full understanding of language and structural features. The quality of your reading will determine the quality of your writing in the reading section.